Let me catch you up. Over the weekend, the two election campaigns of the major parties was launched here in Victoria. The Liberal Party coalition and, of course, the Labor Party, the government. Let's have a look.
Premier Daniel Andrews determined to bring it back for a third term. While opposition leader Mathew Guy is gearing up for the fight of his life. Both men fired up at their official campaign launches on Sunday, Labor keeping it clean.
Renewables will replace coal.
Announcing at least 6,000 jobs at a revitalised state electricity commission would be for apprentices and trainees. While Mathew Guy has other ideas, the coalition keen to allow gas exploration in Victoria, with 100% of the gas produced to be kept for Victorians.
In our view, Victoria must turbocharge gas production and availability, not turn it off.
Both sides announced further cost of living relief, Labor extending the power saving bonus, another saving of $250 for every household, while the coalition promising to scrap supply charges on energy bills for 6 months, saving up to $235 on power bills. Leaked documents have also revealed Labor will pledge to explore a reduced working week. The policy is yet to be announced. At the Labor launch, there was no mention of lockdowns or integrity matters that are under investigation. Instead, the Premier focusing on his achievements.
And since coming to government, we have used every single day with purpose. I don't need to give you some long laundry list of everything we've done. I don't need to, because you can see it. You can see it in every street and town and suburb in our state.
It's Daniel Andrews and his records, his world record lockdowns, his health crisis, his record debt, his culture of corruption and cover-up.
At the Liberal camp, supporters were handed a frequent liar card on arrival after they were greeted by protesters dressed as giant lobsters, referencing Mathew Guy's Lobster Cave dinner with an alleged mafia boss in 2017. With just 12 days to go,
to vote for your local Liberal and National Party candidate.
That's why on the 26th of November we need your support. I'm asking you to vote Labor.
I don't think the inflatable lobsters cut through when you compare the Premier and 4 IBAC investigations. Goodness me. Let's cross live now to Victorian political reporter Simon Love for all the latest on the campaign trail today. Simon, Premier has downplayed new polling showing his government's lead is slipping away. Support is growing for the coalition. Take us through some of the detail.
Evening, Peter. Well, this was a poll of just under 1,200 people conducted by Redbridge for the Herald Sun, commissioned by the Herald Sun. And the primary vote's probably the most interesting one at the moment. The race is closing in, according to this. Labor 53.5%, the coalition 46.5%. That was the two-party preferred figure, sorry. So the primary vote, if you look at it now, Labor on 33%. The coalition also around 33%. The Greens are slightly down as well. And the independent vote is steady on about 7%. Now, when you look at some of the questions that were also asked to those voters were asked, in your opinion, is Victoria's health system in crisis? 73% of respondents said yes. And also, voters were asked, in their opinion, who was the best to fix the health crisis? Mathew Guy with 54% of the vote. Voters also asked if they agreed or disagreed with the Liberals' policy to delay the construction of the suburban rail loop and redirect those funds to the health system. 37% of respondents strongly agreed with that, Peter.
Let's go to the issue today. Mathew Guy was asked a fair bit about deals with minor parties. What can you tell us?
Well, we know that Liberals late last week declared that they'd be putting Labor last, but this morning there were some how-to-vote cards that were circulating from the Liberal candidate for Richmond, which had the Greens candidate last. A couple of hours after those emerged, Lucas Moon, the candidate for the Liberal Party for Richmond, told me that there was an administrative error and there were new how-to-vote cards handed out which had the Labor candidate last. So it seems the party HQ are really enforcing that rule no matter what the individual campaigns are up to. Here was Mathew Guy, though, when asked if any preference deals would be done.
We need a majority coalition government to fix the health system, to make sure we've got real energy savings, cost of living savings, and to give the state the fresh start it deserves. We can only do that by a majority coalition government.
And that announcement too by the Liberal leader about quarantining new gas in Victoria for Victorians. He says very confident he'll be able to implement the plan within 100 days of the coalition government, isn't he?
He does seem confident. He says that regulations could be brought in to do this, but Labor's suggesting that the only way to do this would be to change the Constitution. So David Southwick, the Deputy Leader, came under a lot of pressure today over whether that would be required. This was his response.
What I've said, Simon, very clearly is if it's regulation, if it's legislation, we will look at that to ensure that we get gas for Victorians to benefit from. Very simple. Simon, we'll look at it when we get into government. We will ensure that Victorians get to benefit from that gas. That will be our commitment.
All right, there we are. We'll come back to you tomorrow, Simon. Good luck on the campaign. We're in the absolute business end. As I said, pre-polls open today. 12 days, I think, to go. 12 days to go. And, of course, we'll cover it here on Sky News on the 26th, Saturday the 26th of November.